guns. Incidentally, this is a 3-gun turret, not a triple gun turret.
You know the deal. I'm live because I feel like it.
These 16-inch guns are the main armament on the BB-61 class ships. And you'll find 3 turrets with a total of 9 guns. The combined rate of fire is over 18 rounds a minute, but you can see only a small part of it from out here. Come on inside and see what this modern 16-inch turret structure is really like.
What is the deal with the just attack frame on this? That is the... I'm just not gonna bother. Those are the very strange photon art. This one's a lot more reasonable. That's the first time in a minute I've seen these try to go for a melee attack. You have to be in their face for them to even try it. On some Doom Imp type shit. Ah, here we go. Useless individual. Strangely, I don't remember listening to this song. Actually, okay, I have some things on my mind that I want to talk about. I was just gonna freaking play the game and just be quiet while doing so, but no. I want to talk about going back to PSO2 like I did last week. And how I felt afterwards. If you follow me on social media, or if you are tuning into these streams, you know that I keep yearning about Phantasy Star Online 2. Because I really miss the combat system, and the skill trees, and the general vibe of being around when the game was active. But that's the key word that I was missing during all my yearning. I missed when the game was active. As in, I miss being a part of the game when it was still in development. I miss when I was in high school and playing the game on the Japanese servers, and I was looking forward to a new update every month. I liked being excited for a new episode because it meant that there would be things that would change. And in Phantasy Star Online 2's current state, there is no more change. What you see is what you get over there. And what you get is stillness. It's a game that is a finished product, and not even a finished product, I would say. It feels like a stripped down version of the finished product. Because some of the things that were in the game by default, like the ability to use the player market in that game, no longer exist in favor of pushing players towards New Genesis. And I've already voiced my feelings on New Genesis. I don't like it. I don't like open world games. But that's a different story for another time. Skipping this song. And I tried to play through the game the way I used to play through it whenever I was in high school, and the way I played it during the pandemic era of 2020 and 2021, you know, the 2 years we got with PSO2 Classic in the West. Which was, I'd log on, I'd do my dailies, I'd do some time attacks, and then I would wait to see if there were any emergency quests active. If there were, I would keep playing and run that EQ until it ended. And then I'd get tired and I'd play something else. See, the thing is, I can't really do that anymore because in its current state, as in, there's no one freaking playing it, that's a bit of an issue. Something I didn't really realize while I was playing the game is that I was getting carried really, really hard. Like, to the point where I was dead weight when I tried to join an EQ and just play the way I did before. Like, people who played Phantasy Star Online 2 will know how absurd it is to get in-game gear, because it requires a very long and very committal grind. There's a lot of doing emergency quests that you just have to do. You have to keep getting item after item after item, and it feels like it doesn't end. It's artificial padding. Granted, that's expected in RPGs at this point, especially MMORPGs that are fighting for your attention and overall playtime. But in Phantasy Star Online 2, it almost feels like an uphill battle. And it got worse with how PSO2 Global was handled, because it felt like I was always lagging behind with how they rushed the episodes to come out. Episode 4 to Episode 5 was such a pain. And then when Episode 6 came out and introduced the weapons, you know, the Profound series weapons, and the things that came afterwards, I never got a chance to get my hands on those because it was just too much to do. And because all that was just too much for me to do, because I had a 9 to 5 at the time, well, during 2020 anyway, I just didn't bother. And because I just didn't bother with grinding to get all the best weapons, I got left behind. And it's not just in terms of there are other people playing the game and, you know, I missed out on some things. I was left behind statistically. My stats weren't enough to kill enemies on my own. My stats weren't enough to take any hits on my own. I was relying on the healing and buffs of other players just to make it in emergency quests. And I didn't even realize this until, like, Friday. I believe it was Friday when I played the game again. 3 years. I was just not knowing that I was that bad for 3 years. No, maybe even longer than that. So I don't know how long I was out of my element and being dragged in there essentially by other players, weighing them down the whole time. And it's not just these feelings of inadequacy that make me want to stop playing again, it's just, if I want to get to that level, there's so much work that has to be done that I don't feel like doing. Anyone that has played the game can also tell you how ridiculous the gear enhancement system when it comes to augments is. I was gonna call them affixes, but that's just a freaking weird word. That's one of the localization things that I actually approve of. Just call them augments, it's easier. Anyway, augments. The fact that you have to look up guides to effectively augment your weapons is ridiculous. It's something that is completely obscured from the player and apps and just normal gameplay. Not to mention that there are some augments that are missing from the global version. There are numerous things missing from the global version of the game, but that's one of the things that felt egregious to me. Most notably, the absence of the augment Soul Receptor to make just transferring augments easier. If you really don't know what that is, in the Japanese version of the game, there is an augment called Soul Receptor, and as it says in the tin, it's an augment that lets you transfer soul abilities, like Vol Soul could go from the garbage drop that you had, drop from the Vol Dragon, to whatever your 15 star is. And there's like other receptors too. I don't remember what they are, and they're not really important right now, but the absence of these is what's important, because they make getting to the end game easier. But the thing is, they're also a grind. If you wanted to get receptors, you needed to play PSO2S, something that we didn't get. In global version anyway. There's just a lot missing. I kind of feel betrayed by the E3 2019 trailer that said all the content. Because I was looking forward to some of the things like Odin and Night Gear, and Cougar NX and Ramiel, but we never got those. It is what it is, but that's a small thing. What kind of drop did I get? This... And... it might just be me being bad at the game, but... I almost felt deceived, in a way. Because... I tried to just play the class that I enjoyed playing the most. Braver. Because I love the katana weapon. It is one of my favorite weapons to use ever. And just trying to play normally felt like I was doing everything incorrectly. Like, I can't really put it into words. It just felt like I was doing everything wrong. Not just the fact that I was dying a whole bunch and making players use their moon atomizers, it just felt incorrect. Maybe it's because I'm so used to playing this game, but... I couldn't land the parries that I used to be able to land effortlessly. And whenever I did land a parry, it felt like I was doing little to no damage. Because I was doing little to no damage. Because all the other players inside of the MPA that I was in were doing significantly more than me. And I just feel like I missed out on something. Because I can't do any of that stuff like the other guys can. There's just a massive gap in between me and them that I'm never, ever, ever going to fill. And that sucks, man. I keep looking for other hack and slash video games to try to fill this niche, but I think I just experienced a once-in-a-lifetime thing that will never, ever, ever happen again. And it's sad coming to this realization. Like, I said it on Blue Sky, but I think playing PSO2 again after that experience with the randos and their trigger quests just made me realize that I don't miss playing Phantasy Star Online 2. I miss the experience of having played Phantasy Star Online 2. And that sucks. Because I thought if I just reinstalled the game and played it again, just like old times, it would all come back and it would just make sense. And it didn't. And I feel alone in that, almost. I know there's people out there who love to slander New Genesis for this and that reason, but that's all been played out. I'm not here to talk about New Genesis again. It's just... I thought I could get it all back by just opening the game again, but no. It didn't work. I'm still sad. The end. I'm playing PS2 Clementine all over again because this game still hits. Despite everything, this game still hits. Probably because I had more experience with this game. Because I played this game on the Xbox 360 before Barack Obama became president. And as a small aside, I think Fantasy Star Portable 2 was on the right track when it comes to changing the hack and slash gameplay, you know, moment to moment. It's just, they goofed somewhere. I think the intense nerfing of the Force class was a freaking horrible idea. Like, the worst the Force class has ever done is just drop the frame rate. And I understand that some people may have felt, you know, reliant on forces to an extent. Because, hey, having one guy that can press one button over and over again to clear mobs, that's pretty cool. But the Sonic team didn't want that, apparently. Did I screw up somewhere? Like, those keys should have dropped, right? I'm not gonna bother. How did I screw up that menuing almost 3 times in a whatever? Yeah. Anyway, I didn't even finish Phantasy Star Portable 2, because I was playing that game when I was in middle school, and I couldn't figure out how to beat the final boss, because it has, like, huge AoE attacks that cover up the entire battlefield, and I could never get the hang of parrying in that game, probably because I was playing on PPSSPP, and I wonder if it messed with the timing. Probably not, but, you know, there's a skill issue. I think I'm just done ranting now. Anyway, I think if all the adjustments from PSU Clementine were added into an offline game, or, you know, a mod of PSU, or maybe even Phantasy Star Portable, I think I would be happy. That way, I'd be able to keep on playing the game and restart whenever I want without having to rely on, you know, British servers. Because if I'm not mistaken, this game is being hosted in England. Not a slight against them, it's just... there will be a time when this server goes down. I know not when, but I know it will happen. It's known that Sega is usually lax when it comes to fan projects, since they haven't come for this project at all. Even in its infancy in the early 2010s, Sega did not come for the Clementine team. And despite the Clementine team showing proof of concept that they can get PSO2 running, they haven't done anything. Not to the public's knowledge, anyway. I just... I hope things will work out this series. Because this series is dear to me. I like hack and slash gameplay like this. And nothing else really comes close. Except God Eater 3, that game was pretty good. God Eater 3 had like the only child character that didn't make me want to tear my brains out with my bare hands. I did not like that Theme kept calling me daddy, but it is what it is. You are one ugly mofo. Those things have more health than I remember. Or it could just be because of Master Swordsman producing them. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. Anyway, I feel like I should just download my VOD and then condense all of my ramblings into the contents of one video. Because if I could do that, I think people might watch it? Oh, maybe. Can't get that just attack right. I did it before, but... There we go. You guys saw that, right? Like, it switched to photon charge at the last second. Man, Sonic Rush is a 20-year-old video game. I don't know if, like, if I went back to this game, would I enjoy it? Because I remember enjoying most of my experience with Sonic Rush. There were a couple of bad, stinky levels in there, like the water level. But most of the game was a pleasant experience because this game, Sonic Rush, is kind of vibes-based. Not too dissimilarly to Jet Set Radio, another game with Hideki Naganuma as the producer. Not the producer, soundtrack guy. And now, I'm afraid if I go back and play this game, I'm going to have the same feeling of dissatisfaction that I felt whenever I opened up PSO2 again earlier this week. Or was it last week now, since it's Sunday? Anyway, in other news, there is a big winter storm happening. But we haven't really felt most of it down here, at least where I am in Houston. The news and just radio stations and everybody around, like, we're acting like it was the end of the world. But in reality, you know, where I'm at right now, it's just 30-something degrees outside. There was a little bit of rain earlier. The streets were wet, but nothing froze. Ooh-wee, mama. Man, I heard people see the shelves of stores were completely empty on some freaking COVID type shit. All that prepping, and it amounted to just winter weather. Like, I can't blame these people because a repeat of 2021 would be freaking horrible. The power grid being unable to sustain everything would be terrible. I remember we went down to like 10 degrees in 2021 and we had no power. And it sucked, dude. All I could do was sit in my bed and just shiver. And I could try and go outside to my car, but I only had so much gas because I was a employee back then. Don't miss it at all, by the way. And just sitting there shivering sucked. Like, I can't blame the people that got really desperate and started starting their cars inside of garages and whatnot, because that event was basically unprecedented. If I'm not mistaken, that was historically low temperatures in Texas at that time. The amount of freaking relief I felt when the power finally came back on was immense. I think it was that event is what solidified my desire to want to get out of this state. Probably to New Mexico or Colorado or whatever. Something not too far, but far enough from this disaster of a state. But, in this economy? I don't know. At least I have dreams. I can hold on to a dream. Maybe. Maybe I'll do something. In the night, dream down line. Why did I even bring fire armor to this mission? Almost everything that I fought has been ice elemented, with the exception of Tengog. And the Omnigog itself. Man, I'm now realizing that I want to download this VOD, but in my haste, I removed the setup I did for audio tracks, because I wanted to just upload my VODs in full to YouTube. So I had a setup where the audio from my music player would not come into the VODs. And to just, you know, I wanted to just go and delete all the VODs after I was done, because I just didn't plan on keeping everything on my channel. After all, I don't really have, like, important shit to say most of the time. But the one time I do want to actually say something, I have music playing. Or maybe, let's see. Yep, everything's on the same track. The soundtrack's gonna come through and my thoughts are gonna be interspersed with like spurts of whatever the heck I was listening to. I think I'm gonna die here and lose Nano Blast. Never mind. I don't know if it's just because the game was made harder for Clementine or if I'm actually bad, but I still do feel bad whenever I play this game. Because despite doing everything and getting to the end of missions, I still just have this sinking feeling that I'm doing things incorrectly. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, if I can't do it right, then why am I doing it? And someone else might say, just do it bad, but I want to do it right. That's the thing. That's just how I'm wired. Wrong weapon. What did you drop, Tingog? Ranger bases. Lexi has found a special weapon. Good for Lexi. What is the point of this teleporter that sends you backwards? Oops, I left a rare item over here. Let's go get it. Ugh. Funny that this remix comes on. I was about to mention No More Heroes. Despite No More Heroes having its moments where it made me want to turn the game off, Dark Star. I enjoyed playing through the game. Like, just as is, No More Heroes is a pretty good game. Like, if that was the only entry in the series, I think people would still remember it fondly. Not just because it's one of the very few games on the Wii with an M rating. It's just good on its own. This is not to slander No More Heroes 2, because I'm not going to slander that game. I haven't even played it yet. It's on the backlog, and I'm going to be playing it soonish, because I'm going to be playing stuff on my backlog. That's my New Year's resolution. I have so many games in my backlog that, like, I purchased back when I didn't have a gaming PC, just during Steam sales, because, hey, maybe I can play those one day. And then I just haven't frickin' played them, because I procrastinate everything. Procrastinate frickin' everything. Anyway, that's something for my therapist. Anyway, No More Heroes. I liked that hack and slash gameplay. I just wish some of the things in that game were a bit more clear. It has some of the, like, jank translation of 2000s video games. It's an acquired taste. And I enjoyed how frickin' weird that game was. How unapologetically weird it was. I keep saying this, and I think other people also share the sentiment, but we really need more weird games. Like, people keep saying gaming is dead, and then just not playing indies or anything that's not AAA or whatever, because almost all the modern, like, big games are games that are inspired by games or just derivative games based off of the concept of, you know, big game, I think. Oh my god. It's like what the god of manga said. All anime today is trash because it's made by otaku. I think I'm misattributing that quote, but still, the sentiment remains. People are making things based off of games instead of making things based off of what they actually want to see. I say this as someone who freaking loved Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, a game that is so unapologetically inspired by Jet Set Radio, people immediately start calling it Jet Set Radio whenever they look at it. But I read an article today about how Akira Toriyama was inspired to create Dragon Ball Z by looking at 101 Dalmatians. Like, think of all the weird crap people could come up with if they just went, you know, looking for stuff. Anyway, what I'm saying is you need to play the Kill the Past video games. Flower, Sun and Rain, Moonlight Syndrome, Killer is Dead, Killer 7, No More Heroes, Fire Pro Wrestling. You should play Grasshopper Manufacturers and Suda51's video games. They're so good. Well, I was gonna refill these, but they seem to be doing it by themselves. Thank you, Clementine team. How many of these do I have? Enough. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna stream for the whole 2 hours that I usually do because people are terrified and bringing out space heaters, and I wish more people were informed about how terrible Centerpoint Energy and ERCOT is as a whole. Holy shit, I thought here we go. Peak game design boss fight. It moves on a, like, clockwise angle. And just sits there firing orbs. And it stuns you with that thing. This boss fight right here is one of the reasons I wanted to get this twin handgun so badly, because I can just shoot and use lifesteal to recover anything I lose from the fireballs. Anyway. I remember looking at the comments section for this remix by Rukunetsu and Mysterious Tuesday. Detective Tuesday, I'm sorry. I remember people saying they didn't like it? Like, what? But then again, this came out in 2016, and I think, like, rap music has become as mainstream as it is right now. But that's probably just a bad observation to make. Anyway. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. The Phantasy Star Universe Clementine wiki is inaccurate, I think. While I did get Master Swordsman as a drop, I'm just, not getting any of the other crap I actually want. I wonder if it's, like, wrong about the drop of Sanjiasha here. I was unsure about streaming because I was just thinking my internet could cut out at any time. But I didn't want to play, like, any backlog games because I'd lose progress, so just go back to all reliable. Despite everything, this game is, like, a source of comfort for me. In spite of the dated visuals, it all just... it's nice. And I was also hesitant towards streaming because everyone's loud in this place. One of the reasons why I want to move out, but circumstances beyond my control, and some in my control, will not allow that to happen. Housing market is fucked, am I right? I'm generally happy with how I set up my room decorations here. I wanted something like chill, and I guess a nightclub bar looking area is just kind of chill to me. I haven't really changed this place in years. Not broke. Don't fix, I suppose. Anyway, the more I play this game, the more and more I inch towards being level 200. Anyway, I did say that I wasn't gonna play for like forever, so I'm gonna finish up my menuing, and then I'm just gonna peace out. Because, despite not doing anything all day, I'm still tired. Perhaps I should get a diagnosis of chronic fatigue, or something like that. Not those. I shouldn't have sold those, but whatever. I will just deal. Anyway, that's it. I don't know if anyone even freaking watched this stream. If you were there, thanks for lurking. Lurkers are the backbone of every stream. And I'm done. You should listen to the rest of this album, Archive 001 Reworks by Kamome Sana. And I'm not gonna raid anybody, you know how it goes.